Good afternoon, Mikel.
Hi, Nash.
Any fresh injury concerns after Tuesday?
No, not for now. We have another training session tomorrow, so the ones that are in contention, hopefully we can give us good news.
Yeah, you mentioned on Monday that Martin Odegaard and Jurrien Timber were days away. Are you hopeful they'll be available?
Yeah, we have another session tomorrow, so let's see if they can make it.
You've got to pick a 20-man squad for this game, Mikel. Where will that rank among the most challenging and difficult decisions you've had as an Arsenal manager?
Yeah, especially because everybody's been involved in the competition, and in the last day when you have the option to be at Wembley and not to give the opportunity for somebody not to be there, difficult. So yeah, something to think about.
Kepa has started all your cup games in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. Will he keep his place? Will he start?
We will see how everybody's tomorrow and make the decision.
Okay. Just because Pep says that James Trafford is starting.
Good try.
I'm sure you're aware of that, yeah. Mikel, there's been a feeling among the pundits that this is more than just a final, in that it can lead to maybe bigger and better things for the winners of this game. Do you see it like that? Have you thought about that, or is this just something, an individual game? Let's try and get a trophy.
Yeah, that's it. For me, that's it. And all the preparation and all the enjoyment in the next 48 hours to get to Wembley in the best possible way and really prepare and confident that we're going to make it happen is focused on that, basically on that, and that's it.
I'm not sure if you're aware of this stat. You've played for Arsenal at Wembley 4 times. You've managed Arsenal at Wembley 4 times. You were aware of that?
Yeah. Dan just mentioned that, yeah. It's a spoiler, isn't it?
Right, yeah, and you've never lost. What is it about you, this club and that stadium?
I don't know, but let's keep it that way. So make sure that that in a few hours we can do the same.
Just on the man in the other dugout, known very well, Pep Guardiola, you've got a fantastic relationship with him. He says that his relationship with you may have changed over the last 5 or 6 years. Compared to 5 or 6 years ago, rather.
He had to, no? He's in Manchester, I'm in London. We are managing 2 different clubs. The feelings from my side hasn't changed at all.
How would you describe how it has changed, though?
The fact that we are never together. We cannot spend time together, and that's important in our relationship. But it's not the most important thing, because what I feel about him and the time that we had together and what he did for me, and the inspiration has been since I was little for me. That's never going to change.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ian, talk.
Hi, Mikel. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Nervous?
No. Today, no.
Not today. I mean, just in general.
No. Excited, enthusiastic, positive. Yeah.
Victor Gyökeres, 16 goals this season, but is Sunday the real reason why you bought Victor Gyökeres to get you over the line to win a trophy?
Our players, they have to perform daily at this level, but when it comes to the crucial moments and when it comes to the moment to attack a trophy and take it and bring it home, that's where you need to be players to step up and make the difference. That's clear.
And for your team, I mean, still in with a chance of winning 4 trophies, never been done before. Been a fantastic season, but does Sunday become kind of a little bit the moment of truth? You've got this far, now go and the final step and lift the pot.
It's going to be one of the defining moments, because at the end is whether you win the trophy or not, and that's the most important thing once you get to the final. But in order to be there, you have to do a lot of things and earn a lot of things that the team has done so far. So we need to prove that point, that's clear, and that has to be done on the pitch.
Finally, still young, still no grey hairs. You're the apprentice compared to the master in terms of Pep Guardiola, maybe in some people's eyes, but it's Sunday the day the apprentice becomes the master.
It's not about that. It's in this profession, you are constantly learning, constantly evolving. I had the incredible privilege to work with Pep for 4 years and all the staff and an amazing club. And that remains part of me, because it was part of the journey and what I am today as a manager. But that means that you have to continue to evolve and improve constantly.
Good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
George BBC.
Mikel, hello. Arsenal won the FA Cup with you in charge 2020. It seems a while ago now, but obviously there was no fans there.
It is a while ago.
but just in terms of it, obviously you won that with no fans.
Yeah.
What would it mean to win with all your supporters there? Because loads of them had to miss out, watch it on the TV. So what's your memories of that final and what's the contrast potentially to what could happen on Sunday?
Let's leave it on Sunday, and then I can probably answer that question better. I've done it when that stadium has been full and been part of that, and it's exceptional. One of the best memories that I have as a player is playing those type of games. So yeah, that's why we are all very excited, because we know what is at stake. We really want it, and we know what it's going to mean for our people as well.
When you say you really want it, is this the start of a new era potentially for Arsenal? Because under Arsene Wenger 20 years ago, they was winning everything, you know, the Invincibles. What you've got on the line and what this team could potentially achieve is quite huge, really. And I just wonder, from your sense, what do you sense that this is the start of something big, potentially?
And there is a lot to do to start to talk and use those words, in my opinion. But we are very excited about what we are doing, and we need to continue to make the right strikes and especially performing the right way when those moments come to achieve what we want, to start to build the momentum that we want as a club.
Just in terms of finals, obviously you made Champions League semi-final last year. How much is it about the players that these finals become habits rather than unusual moments?
Well, this is what we want, and the fact that we are at the end of March and we are in 4 competitions tells a lot about the team. But as I said, now it's about the next step, the next game, and the defining moments. At the end, you need certain moments to go your way, and especially you have to make it happen in the way you approach those games, and make decisions that obviously is going to impact the game.
Thank you.
James, Athletic.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
When you were with Pep at City, I think Carabao Cup was the first trophy you won together in 2018. A few months later, that team won the Premier League and went on to win a great deal, of course. Do you think that experience that they shared at Wembley, winning that final, was important in helping them take that step and go on and do more in the future?
Well, certainly yes, because winning always helps, and winning a trophy helps more for sure. It gives you confidence, it gives you the feeling that when you come to that moment, you can do it, and you have enough resources to achieve what you want, and then you still have to do all the other things that that team did back on the day.
And just on the goalkeepers, I mean, logic suggests in a cup final you pick your best team, your number one choice. Is the goalkeeper position a little bit distinct from that, because you've got a player there who otherwise they won't play a number of games? Is it a little bit different from the consideration with an outfield player?
Yeah, especially if you talk to the goalkeeping coaches, they are very special because they are always different. And they are different. It's a position that is very specific. There is a lot of history about that as well, that is very related to how people have made decisions in the past, and when something different happens, it sounds different, at least. But we don't know how it's going to be in 10 or 20 years' time.
Matt Standard.
Hi, Mikel. On that 2018 final when you were Pep's assistant, City obviously won 3-0 that day, but in general, how big, I guess, was the gap between the two teams, the two clubs, and how much work has been required to get Arsenal to where they are now?
Yeah, I think both clubs were in a very different stage in that moment, and you could sense not only in terms of the squad, but in many other situations how far we were, and you just have to see as well what that club won before we were there as well, which was already very successful, and at the time Arsenal was in a different period because of the history as well, and some of the things that happened.
At what stage in the last 6 years since you've been here did you genuinely believe Arsenal, I guess, were in a position where they could compete with Man City for the biggest prizes and bridge that gap?
Well, I mean, all the work that has been done from day one, because that's the level. I mean, just being the Arsenal manager and not believing that you can compete at the highest level in the competitions, I think it cannot be aligned. Then obviously there are a lot of factors, and the fact that I was there, I know, in my opinion, where the gaps were and the difference was. But not accepting it, being that it's part of the reality, and try to change it as quick as possible.
The Carabao Cup final, top of the bill on Sunday afternoon. The Premier League leaders Arsenal taking on second-placed Manchester City, which actually makes it the first League Cup final in history to be played between the top two teams in the country. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined by some very special guests this morning to look ahead to it. Former Arsenal midfielder Paul Merson is here, alongside former Manchester City midfielder Michael Brown. Gents, thank you for getting up bright and early to join us on Sky Sports Breakfast and for bringing the trophy with you. Paul, should we start with Arsenal? Because the quadruple is still on. How important is it that Arsenal get a win in this final on Sunday, quadruple or not?
I think very important. You know, I haven't won a lot of trophies in recent years. I think this is a massive, massive game. I think it's a massive game for both of them. But yeah, for Arsenal to get over the line, to beat a team of Man City's magnitude, you know, with the players they got and being there so many times over the last how many years, it would be massive for Arsenal, and it would be on then. I think this is the hardest one to win at the moment. I do. I think it's the hardest one. I think they'll win the league. They've got a nice FA Cup draw, in my opinion. No disrespect to Southampton. And they should beat Sporting. And then when you get to the semi-final, Barcelona, you get two chances. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a one-off. If Haaland turns up this weekend and he's hot, you know, it's a different game. So for me, I just side with Arsenal, but I'm not going there as confident.
He's celebrating already. That's
I'm not.
They're going to win the league.
Oh, they're going to win the league. They'll win the league. They'll win the league, Michael. Yeah, they'll win the league. No, I've said all along.
Nerves still, isn't it?
No.
We're not sitting on the ropes at the moment. I don't know what else to say.
Well, this is just it, actually, Michael, isn't it? Given that Manchester City's title charge has faltered, they went out of the Champions League in midweek. Coming into this one, is the pressure actually on Pep Guardiola's side?
It always is. I think when you've got Pep, the pressure's on every single game, the delivery of the trophies. I think what he's done with this competition, he's took it seriously since he's gone in there. And he said they've been there a few times, 22 times he's took City to Wembley. 22.
22.
Incredible, yeah.
How many years is that in?
Yeah, well, is it 10? He's on 10 years, isn't he?
Wow.
Which is obviously
That's
semi-finals.
Oh, yeah, but it's still extraordinary.
That many
It's
times.
extraordinary.
And it's something he wants to win. Obviously, the talking of his future, what's next, and he loves this trophy. So it'll be something that will be so important to him. And will there be anything else? Because the Champions League, the league looks like it's drifting away, and then a difficult FA Cup tie. So the pressure is all on Manchester City.
Bukayo was an unused substitute in 2020 when Arsenal last lifted a major trophy. Can being a key player in a major final help take you to another level in the opinions of people that are maybe on the fence about him a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he said to me in the interview, he's there to win trophies. He's got to win trophies. You'll be remembered as for winning trophies. That's what you're remembered for at football clubs. And, you know, he's done everything so far but just get over the line like the rest of the team. But they have been so consistent. You know, it's a different game for him. He's played in European champion, you know, for England in finals and semi-finals. But it's so different when you're playing for your club that you've been.
I think that's probably the biggest challenge now, like anything at this point of the season, in any team that, whatever situation certain teams are in now, ours is probably heightened due to the fact of where we are and currently the situation and the general atmosphere around. That atmosphere is very positive in and around here, really, and that won't drop, of course. But morale or the general feeling, of course, at certain moments can be tough because of the dynamics of what we face. But like I said, that's never really been the case here. If you come into this training facility, you'll see one which is very bright and constantly trying to improve and get results, really. But like I said, over the course of a long season, it's something you need to be aware of as a coach now, whether that's a little bit more rest at certain moments to fresh the minds up. But for large parts of teams now, it's about the mental side of things and how fresh you're going into games, because it has been a long season to date, really.
He's a fantastic player. I thought when, you know, Arsenal got, and then Jamie's just mentioned it then, you know, you think he's just going to sort of motor off and just, you know, sort of go on the up. But, you know, he hit a bit of a lag and he's come back from that now, and you can see that he's playing with confidence. You see that goal, you know, the other night is absolutely pearl of a goal, you know, first touch and then the way he is. And that comes with confidence, and when you're doing it, you know, them strikes and them goals come with when you are up here in sky high confidence. So yeah, I think, you know, we're going to see another 0.6. I think you said, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about 0.6. Yeah, I mean, Gus, it's a bit of a selection headache, I guess, for Mikel, and in-form Eze, and looking like Odegaard might come back into fitness maybe after the international break. Are they two completely separate players? Is there a chance for them to play together?
Well, depends on the game, but it's great for the coach. You have both. It's unbelievable. That's the best. The problem is when you don't have them. both, you know, like that. I think it looks to me, and Jamie said, he said it, he needs certain confidence, he needs certain, moments where the coach give him that possibility. And if Odegaard come back and Arteta made the decision to change him straight away, maybe that can affect him a little bit. You know, that's something that sometimes the coaches, we don't realize. You look for the best of the team, but if you know the player very well, you can maybe try to wait until whatever games you give him a rest or whatever to bring Odegaard back, because Odegaard is the captain.
Exactly, yeah, it's a tough one. Yeah.
That's the problem. So you need to manage that situation. Can they play together? It depends. I think certain coaches, they're trying to do it. We can go back to Chelsea with Palmer coming inside and make a square in the middle. But we said before with you, no? He needs spaces.
Yeah.
So then if you have 2 or 3 in there and somebody dropping, so it will depend. But Arteta knows better than us. He knows the player, so leave it to them.
Let him do it.
That's what they're paying for.
I think it was interesting, Joe.
Right there, Jay. It is a huge weekend, isn't it, of sport ahead, and they don't get much bigger than this at Wembley. Arsenal, you're rubbing your hands, taking on Manchester City and the EFL, the Carabao Cup Trophy final. Let's firstly, Jay, get your thoughts on this game. This is huge for both clubs for very different reasons. How much of an impact is it going to have on the race, which is becoming less of a race at the top of the Premier League?
I mean, let me just say, I think this is important for both clubs, because I think for Arsenal's point of view, this will give them the confidence to go and push on. It'll give them a lift again. Yeah, even though Arsenal are there, they've been playing, consistently good, but they haven't been, the exciting team that most people want to see, but now it's all about winning. But I think if they can win this game, then I think it will elevate them to go and win the Premier League. I think from Man City's point of view, this could be the only trophy they're winning. So from their point of view, it's not ideal, but sorry, because obviously they go out there to win the Premier League, to win the Champions League, the majors. But this is something, at least they can go away at the end of the season and say, we've won something. So it's really important for both teams.
Who needs it more?
Arsenal. I think Arsenal definitely need it more. I think, when you look at Man City, they've been dominating English football. They've won Premier Leagues, they've won the Champions League, the Cups. They've done everything consistently over the last few years. But Arsenal, obviously haven't won any majors for 20 years. So it's like, that is going to be bigger for Arsenal. And I think this game, like I said, can catapult them to go and then win the Premier League.
Yeah, and in terms of the goalkeeper situation for Arsenal, we're going to speak to an Arsenal and a Manchester City fan this morning. Kepa, he has been the goalkeeper for the domestic competitions, but obviously David Raya has been flying, hasn't he, in goal for Arsenal. Do you think Arteta could make a change for the final?
I don't think so. I think Arteta will look at this and say, listen, first of all, this is a Carabao Cup, right? And it's no disrespect to the Carabao Cup, but I think he's more inclined to go with the players that have got him in that situation. I know it's a final and you want to win the final and you have your best players out there, but I think Arteta will look at this and say, I'm loyal to these players that have got me there. Kepa's been in goal for me. He hasn't made no mistakes. He's played really well. He's going to be in goal. Players on the pitch, maybe that's a different story. Maybe he's going to go with his full-strength team, but I think in terms of goalkeeper, I think he'll keep
Football
the shirt.
pundit Paul Merson sparks major debate as he shares his honest thoughts on Arsenal FC and their chances of winning the Premier League title. At first, Merson explains why he believes Arsenal might fall short, pointing out key concerns around consistency, pressure, and the challenges of competing at the very top level. However, as the discussion continues, everything changes. After looking deeper into Arsenal's recent performances, their momentum, and the impact of Mikel Arteta, Merson begins to shift his stance. The conversation takes a surprising turn as he starts to acknowledge the strength of this Arsenal side, their tactical discipline, and the belief growing within the squad. From defensive solidity to attacking quality, Arsenal are showing signs of a team ready to go all the way. Merson reacts to key players stepping up in big moments and explains why this could be different from previous seasons. The pressure from rivals like Manchester City FC is also discussed, as the title race continues to heat up. So what changed Merson's mind? And do Arsenal really have what it takes to win the league this season? Watch the full breakdown and reaction as Paul Merson reveals his honest opinion, and why he might now believe Arsenal can actually do it.